We're now moving on to a session about mobile gaming, so I'd love to welcome to the next speakers to the stage, and they'll introduce themselves. Please put your hands together.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex, I'm the VP of Partners at Adverty. Before we continue, yes, my zipper broke earlier, so if you can see that, I'm very sorry. Happened on the way here, it's not how I want to start a presentation, but it's better than you all noticing and thinking, I should tell that guy, but yes. Oh, Emma.
I'm Raz. I'm Director of Commercial at NumberEight, and we have here Aurora joining us on stage. I can't say that, I'm sorry.
Emma is the VP of WOOFs, everybody, so big round of applause for Aurora. Not too big, that's very nice of you, thank you, perfect. So we are going to talk about mobile, because it never really gets a lot of love, never gets a lot of attention. Everyone always talks about Fortnite, Roblox, PC, console, and everyone kind of forgets about us on mobile. You stole me one of my things earlier on, which is, can I get a show of hands? And I was really mad at you for doing that, but it's fine, I've still got another one. Sorry. That's all right. Raise of hands, who in here has a mobile game on their phone? Okay, please keep them up if you would class yourself as a gamer, so I'm still doing it. Okay, so a few went down, which is good, because, I mean, in this room, there's going to be a lot more gamers than other places, right? But normally when that happens, a lot of hands go down, and it's a case of then saying, when we're talking about gaming, we're talking about, with everyone else that's spoken today, reaching gamers specifically. You're doing that console PC. With mobile, you're not reaching gamers, you're just reaching people like us. Everyone has a game on their phone, and we're just trying to jump into something to take ourselves out of the reality of the real world and just have a bit of downtime. And that's exactly why mobile has achieved something different than what console and PC does. So we can talk about how gaming is the largest form of entertainment. We can do that, but everyone in here already knows it, so there's no point, because you're all here for the same reason. Gaming is massive. We've done it before. Does it want to click again? There we go. But I'll talk to you about the audience, actually. Now, I know it's 2023, nearly 2024, not supposed to stereotype, all that stuff, but if you were to look at PC and console users, you'd be bang on the money if you say it's almost 100% young males that are doing that. It's accurate. When it comes to mobile is the only gender-neutral platform. And actually, if you take global numbers into account, it's actually played more by female audiences, so 55% of the audience is female. Which is really, really good for brands that typically don't want to reach gaming audiences, but they might want to reach the household shopper, or a mum, for example, or someone that takes care of the finances in the property or the household. Mobile gaming is a fantastic way to do that. And if we had Activision Blizzard on earlier on talking about the success of Candy Crush and those sorts of games, absolutely dominated by the female audiences. Mm-hmm. Around half of gamers now are female, and that number is definitely increasing as Gen Z is coming up as well. And the best thing about mobile is it's played at multiple different touch points during the day. So rather than coming home from school or work or whatever it is you're doing, and then turning on the PC or your console, you're playing multiple times. You might be waiting for the bus, waiting for the train, sneaking to the toilet when you're meant to be at work, and playing Pokemon Go like I do, but don't tell my boss, he's in Sweden. But yeah, so there's lots of different touch points. So if you're trying to sell an FMCG good, I could pop out at lunch because I've just seen it on my toilet break, for example. So it's a great opportunity for that. When we look at the activity of gamers in the mobile space, they are highly engaged. I've spoken to planners before that have said to me, oh, but it's a tiny little screen, so they're not going to see your ads. That's massive lie. I'm a huge mobile gamer. I've spent a whole month's salary over a few years on Pokemon Go, which is really, really sad to say. But when you're playing on your phone, you're really not taking in anything else around you. You're completely focused. Maybe because it's a little bit of a smaller screen, but you're completely locked in. You're fully engaged. And some of the data on here that you'll see really talks about that. 42% higher advertising viewability in game than mobile web. It's a huge one for planners when they're trying to look at innovation and different ways to show things to brands that they haven't done before. And then also looking at how much brands actually, how much of the gamers welcome brand advertising. Adverty, we work in free-to-play games, which means you don't pay to play it. You only get served advertising. What we do is completely different to the annoying stuff that's been mentioned in the first half of the session today. We avoid all the pop-ups or the wait 5 seconds to click the tiniest X and then you click through and then the bounce rate's like 100% and all that stuff. Ours is very native. We basically mirror out of home in a video game. We call it virtual out of home. It gets the really terrible term intrinsic advertising, but we just call it in-play because it's inside the play of the game. But the big difference when you're looking at ads that sit in the virtual environment of the games themselves is they add a level of immersion to the experience for the user. They're actually getting to interact with the ads rather than it just being like a billboard or like an NPU on a web page that you just scroll past. You can, if you're in a shooting game, you might want to shoot at the ad and draw around objects. You can do that if you want to. Some of our games, you can pick up a block that's got the ad on it and use it to throw it at stickmen. So there's loads of different opportunities that you can do in gaming. And I know for a lot of the agency people in here, one of the things that's been a huge focus for you this year especially has been attention. And we're really, really pleased to see that attention is massive, especially amongst Gen Z at the moment. They're spending all their time on mobile games. I feel like I'm kind of dipping down into Gen Z because I'm always on my games. Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the millennials, it's only losing out to social by an hour a day, which is, an hour a week, I should say, not a day, because that's a huge amount of time to be on your phone. But, it's really, really, really strong for attention. And in-game is, or in-play, as I should call it, is trusted by a lot of leading brands. These are partners that we work with regularly. We have a really strong retention rate of 84% of the brands that we work with, and it's a really, really nice, easy way into gaming if you don't have the big budgets to do these crazy cool Fortnite things and stuff like that, but you know your target audience. And talking about target audiences is why we're here today, because a lot of the time, when you're talking about console gaming and you're talking about what is possible, there aren't any real ways with console and PC to prove you're reaching those audiences. Mobile, you can definitely do that. So what can be done in-game? So at the moment, what we offer are three major things, and as you can see, they're all non-intrusive advertising solutions. So we have what we call in-play display, which is pretty much a billboard from out of home, but inside the environment of the game. We have in-menu, which is a native clickable, so it will pop up when you crash, pause a game, complete a level, for example. Very much sits like an NPU, but it's built into the game, so there's no 5 seconds waiting. You can just ignore it and carry on your game. And then we also have video running there too. So a little bit of everything. Click. I can talk about in-menu in further details, but really it's kind of self-explanatory. If you have a performance campaign in gaming, this is a really good solution for that because you're not annoying someone, you're not forcing them to do something to interact with your brand. It's there if they want to, and it's a really cool add-on if you're doing in-play as well because it gives you the chance to get that actual click-through. So normally we add that on in most of our campaigns as added value anyway. But then we also have with the mobile in-play side of things, as I said, it's non-intrusive completely, very immersive. It actually adds to the level of realism with lots of the games because most of the time you would see ads in these environments typically, and they're just being replaced with real brands rather than fake brands. So it works really, really well.
Yeah, that's where I come in.
It is where you come in.
At least I know something. I need to say something. So did you also know? So I think those are facts that you probably already heard, saw, but never really necessarily processing that together. So 70% of people with smartphones enjoy playing games. Most people with a phone have a game on it, as we just proved. However, while 73% of campaign budget are spent on mobile, most of it goes to social and to search, and very little actually goes to gaming. And the reason why is something we'll actually go into now.
Yeah, I mean, some of you may have planned gaming campaigns previously, some of you might be looking to do it for the first time, and it's always been, where we've worked with brands that have done it maybe a second time, they weren't too happy with how they did it the first time elsewhere, and that's kind of because of what they weren't sure what they were going to get, what to expect, or the final report wasn't what they were hoping they promised to the client, for example. So how do you plan it? And it's been very difficult. I used to work at a company that's very similar but very focused on console, and it was an absolute nightmare because I'd get a brief for, let's say, 6 months down the line, and I couldn't tell you how many people I'd be playing that game in 6 months because console behavior is, game comes out, mad hype, loads of press, everyone plays it, 3 months. The next big game comes out, everyone stops playing that one and it goes to the next one, and that's very much just how console PC works. Mobile's different. Retention's really, really strong. There's push notifications, daily login bonuses, weekly events, so it keeps you coming back. So it makes it much easier from a planning perspective. And then you've got things like the reporting side of things. With console, it's just imps and unique users. That's pretty much all you're getting. With mobile, you can get time spent in view, with the user for the whole campaign, across different formats. So you're getting a lot more detail added in there. Guaranteed views, you couldn't get that with console. You just send an impression in because it's heavily encrypted. The data you get back is, I think someone saw it, and that's pretty much it. we can guarantee that it's been seen. We can report on that. We even over-deliver, where we see that the ad's rendered, but it's not actually been seen. That's how we work in the mobile space. You can't do that in any other platform, which is quite nice. Third-party viewability verification doesn't currently work on console. I mean, it does, but there's no way to get it to report accurately. Mobile, perfectly fine. IAS, Mo, all your standards. Double Verify are working on a product at the moment, so you're going to have all the big players in there very, very shortly. Programmatically enabled, that's something you can do on mobile. You can't really on console. And sustainable products, that, again, easily feeds into mobile, which is one of the things that we work with. But Emma will tell you more as to what is it that's been one of the biggest blockers this year, especially for brands that have been trying to get into it.
I think it's been a blocker forever in some way.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at, Alex just explained why don't we see more brands spending on games? And of course, here in this room, we have people that are thinking about how do we spend more on games, but it's not widely accepted, even though it's a major main media, basically, platform. It's because nobody is comfortable buying a black box. You want to know what you're getting. Nobody wants to get this, unless it's really a surprise and you're really into it. You want to kind of know that you're going to get the right audience, the right people.
Yeah, what's the ROI going to be?
Exactly, that you're actually getting the target audience. And gaming has been a bit of a black box until recently. And that's actually what our partnership is supposed to do. Our partnership, the goal is to shed some light into the gaming black box and uncover who are the people behind the gamers. As we established, everyone here is a kind of a gamer. Everyone here is part of an audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So working with NumberEight, we've been the first in market to be able to add real-time data, demographic data, to our campaigns. So whereas before we were contextually targeting, if we were told we want to reach 18 to 28-year-old females, we knew roughly what games would do that, but we didn't know exactly that each impression was going to reach one. Now we have the power to do that. And that's really exciting because, with a 98% match rate of the impressions to the users, we can accurately give you a detailed report that proves that your money has been spent exactly where it should be, reaching the person that you want it to reach. And that's not something that's been able to be done before. So, it's the first time. It gives you an extra level of brand safety as well because you know that you're going to be reaching people. Like, for example, I have a campaign with McDonald's for Pokemon Happy Meals in Canada going live next week. And that's only been signed off because we have this technology now, so make sure that we're not targeting children. So this is a really great way to monetize campaigns that traditionally they would have to be like, kind of can't do that, like fizzy drinks, fat products, QSRs, stuff like that. That really opens it up for brands like that. The zero wastage, as I said, you know who you're reaching. It can be done programmatically, done on a managed basis, video or display. And as I said, the way that we work is you only pay for viewed impressions, so there's literally zero risk involved at all. But I think you want to talk more about how the product actually works.
That's good. That's going to be a good idea. And this is where I'm introducing nuclear light. We don't have a lot of time. This clock is bleeping at me. It's very stressful.
I'm still talking really fast.
I am not going to look at it. But introducing nuclear light, this is an analysis we've run here in the UK for the traffic with Adverty and kind of see what are the demographics we're actually seeing across the different games. You can see the numbers. I'm not going to go and read it out, but you can really see there's a wide breakdown of different type of people, and it's not one demographic. It's not just males. It's not just females. It's really wide audience, and you can match your brand to the right people.
This is the UK numbers. Like we should have written those two letters, but we forgot. Sorry, but this data was pulled last Friday for 1 day. So this is what the UK breakdown currently looks like for our network of 420 games that we have live.
Exactly. And then why does it matter? Why do you care? Well, you care for three main reasons. One, you care about scale. So great data with no scale is meaningless data because three people on a beach is meaningless. High engagement, so as Alex already said, it's great medium, but if you're targeting the right people, you're wasting nothing. And three, privacy. Privacy is critical, especially nowadays, and we have to take that into account with every solution that we're implementing and utilizing, and this is the key. I'm going to speak really fast now.
Go.
So the main thing here is, one, our goal when we developed this product was to cover as much traffic as possible, to really color every impression, or as close as we can, with demographic data to be able to lift that. How do you then utilize it? Well, you're increasing lift. If you're not wasting any media, you're de facto using your budget more effectively. This is from a campaign we run with a different partner, but we're already seeing the potential impact we can have. Zero PII.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stop pushing.
I didn't press it.
Zero PII or IDs, meaning you don't use any personal information, no IDs. You're making sure that you're really utilizing rather unused data otherwise to derive the right, to get to the right information and really respecting your user privacy. You can do that not just by getting them to approve you to use their personal data, but actually not accessing that at all and still understanding them by utilizing basically senseless otherwise information. Now, okay, I'm being quick.
We're getting cut off, but we do have a few more slides with that prove it works, brand studies, etc., which will all get sent out afterwards. But thank you for putting up with my broken barn doors and me talking really fast and Emma's beautiful outfit.
Thanks so much to Alex Ginn of Adverty and Emma Raz of NumberEight. Please give them a round of applause again. That was fantastic.